A very good evening. You're watching News 9 with me, Akshita. And first up, in the backdrop of unrest across the state, sources have confirmed to us that Raghavendra Oratkar will be transferred from his position as the police commissioner. M.N. Reddy, the ADGP for Law and Order, might take up the post of the police commissioner. It is also expected that Kishore Chandra, who is the ADGP for Communications, Logistics and Modernization, might take over the post of ADGP Law and Order, with Raghavendra Oratkar replacing him. In some more changes, Additional Commissioner for Law and Order Kamal Pant might be replaced with Alok Kumar, who is currently serving as the IGP in the grievance cell. Alok Kumar had previously served as the Additional Commissioner for Law and Order as well. So it looks like, keeping in mind the increasing incidence of crime, not just against women, but in all, the Home Ministry has decided to take some strict action in the police department and are hoping for a revamp of sorts. We have to keep in mind that the Home Ministry has come under huge flack for the increasing crimes in the city, and along these lines they have decided in all likelihood to replace the commissioner as well. While this is the talk doing the rounds right now, the confirmation is expected to come in this evening, and if in fact Oratkar is transferred, it will be M.N. Reddy who will take over as the police commissioner. Besides that, several other changes as well in the offing. Oratkar could be made the ADGP for Communication, Logistics and Modernization. Remember, the current ADGP for that particular post is Kishore Chandra, who in all likelihood will take over from M.N. Reddy as the ADGP of Law and Order. Besides that, Kamal Pant could also be replaced. We could be looking at Alok Kumar, who has served in the past as Additional Commissioner for Law and Order, once again taking up that post. As of now, Alok Kumar is the IGP in the grievance cell, and there's no word on exactly where Kamal Pant could be transferred to, but this is the talk in, of course, the police department as well. This is what our sources have told us. We will have to wait for this evening for an official word on the same. Remember, the last time we heard that Oratkar would be transferred, it's during that ADGP Galata when he was accused of practicing untouchability, and soon after the government had confirmed, including KJ George, that Oratkar would not be transferred. But now maybe, of course, this is just the icing on the cake, and that's why they have decided to go ahead and transfer Oratkar. And besides that, of course, we could be looking at the Additional Commissioner for Law and Order, Kamal Pant, also being replaced by Alok Kumar. Alok Kumar has previously served in the same post. He is currently the IGP in the grievance cell, and we could be looking at Kamal Pant also being transferred. There's no word on where he could be transferred to, which post he would take up. But Alok Kumar, having experience in the field, in all likelihood could come back, and the Home Ministry possibly hoping that his experience in this particular post will help him serve the people better. And well, an unusual sight was witnessed in Vidhana Sauda today. Alcoholic drinks were seen strewn in the premises, and it was allegedly brought in by a visitor who had come to Vidhana Sauda to see the proceedings of the house. These bottles were found in the security quarters in Vidhana Sauda. The police, as well as the security personnel present there, stated that a visitor who had come to visit Vidhana Sauda had tried to bring it in. Fortunately, the security present there, who check every single item that is brought in, managed to see these bottles and seized them immediately. In fact, fortunately, they were also kept sealed and were not opened. But of course, no doubt a lot of people will be questioning on first sight, without much information, on whether in fact this was brought in by the ministers. But it has been confirmed that it was a visitor who tried to take it inside Vidhana Sauda. And well, in a shocking incident of corporal punishment in a Kakinada school, 3 boys were beaten up black and blue by the headmaster of the school. Their only fault was that they were being mischievous in class. More shockingly, these children are visually impaired, but without even considering anything, the headmaster of Greenfield School for the Blind is seen beating them up violently. And after the footage was released, localites beat up the headmaster. In fact, in the video, what you can see is that the children are seen touching the headmaster's feet and begging for forgiveness. This headmaster, identified as Rao, does not budge and continues the assault. In fact, after this video was released to the media, it looks like the localites barged into the school and went on to mete out justice of their own kind. They were seen going ahead and thrashing this headmaster, who himself is visually impaired. A case has been registered and both the accused have been taken into custody. Following a complaint from the DEO, the Sarvaparam police arrested the school correspondent KV Rao as well as Principal Srinivas for beating up the visually impaired children. The state's Child Rights Commission has said that it will separately investigate the case. Well, we're joined on over the phone lines by Mr. Vijay, who is a staff member of the Greenfield School of the Blind, which is, of course, where this incident took place. Mr. Vijay, thank you so much for talking to News9. But how long have incidents like this taken place? Has the principal done this in the past as well?
Yeah, before saying on this, I'd like a small correction. I'm not a staff member there. I'm the resident of Kakinada, which is very close to the school here.
Right.
But actually, what thing exactly was happened is the principal is just want to punish the children to make them to live in the right way. That was one thing, if we think it positively. And on the other side, basically in the schools, the corporal punishments have been banned by the state government here, as well as the Indian government. Right? And the other thing is that the school was having a 14 years around history, and earlier there is no such kind of remarks on the school. But only one thing we have to object here is that the principal was brutally punishing the child, which is obviously illegal.
Absolutely. But Mr. Vijay, considering, of course, that you have stayed in Kakinada, what is the kind of reputation the school has?
This school was educating the blind students from last 14 years.
Okay.
And was running in a very good lines without any bad remark. But this is obviously all the people in Kakinada have been surprised by seeing these kind of visuals in the TV channels. And as well as there are some more political issues are also been linked up here in this school.
Such as what? Such as what, Mr. Vijay?
Yeah.
Such as what?
Correct?
What political links?
This school has been, some issues have been linked up here is the land issues and other some assets which has been linked up here with the local political leaders. And I don't, because these things have been obviously not linked up with this kind of situation what you have seen in the visuals right now.
Yes.
But is only one way strictly we have to object is the way the principal punishing here the child is absolutely illegal thing. It should be gross violation of AP Education Act.
Right. Mr. Vijay, also, do you know how long this principal has been in the school? You state that incidents like this have never come to light in the past.
Yes, exactly. From last 14 years, the same person has been running the institution and was never this kind of situation or never this kind of news have been heard from the school.
Right. Mr. Vijay, also soon after the incident took place, we saw several residents going ahead and beating up the principal as well.
Yeah. Actually, the person who is beating is Mr. Rao, who is the correspondent of the school.
Okay.
And the other person who is bringing the children is the principal, who is not completely blind, he is a partially blind. The principal is partially blind, and whereas the correspondent was completely blind.
Right. And this correspondent has also been with the school for 14 years?
Yes, he is the one person who was beating the child, who has been wearing the black spectacles. He is a blind person. And the other person who has been standing behind and bringing the child towards the correspondent, he is a partially blind, he is the principal of the school.
Right, right. Thank you so much, Mr. Vijay, for talking to News9 and going ahead and throwing more light on exactly what took place. One of the residents of Kakinada, they're telling us that this school has been there for 14 years and in fact enjoys a very good reputation in society. He claims, of course, that no such issues have ever come to light in the past. In fact, rather subtly, Mr. Vijay also stating that maybe the timing of this particular video can be questioned, but no doubt, whatever it may be, this incident is definitely definitely very condemnable. The man you see on your screens is in fact the correspondent of Greenfield School. He is identified as Mr. Rao. He is of course completely blind, completely visually impaired is what we understand. The principal was the one who is seen in the video bringing the children, and we understand that he is partially blind. So of course action being taken against both of them, and the two have been taken into custody. And this was the galata that was witnessed soon after that particular video was released to the media. We have to of course highlight that the video was shot by a staff member and then subsequently released to the media, and once the residents got to know what was taking place in the school, which they trusted, which they believed was in fact something that was educating visually impaired children, they barged into the school and went on to beat up the correspondent Rao, who you see on your screens. And moving on, the longest ever search operation to recover bodies of 24 BTech students who drowned in Bias River in Mandi district on June 8, 2014 came to a close with the recovery of the bodies of 2 girl students. With this, the bodies of all 24 students have been recovered, and only a co-tour guide, Pralahad, is missing. The bodies of Dasri Srinidhi and Kasarla Rishita Reddy were seen floating in the Pando Dam reservoir. A co-tour guide and 24 engineering students, including 6 girls, were washed away when the Largi Hydropower Project authorities suddenly released water from the dam on the evening of June 8th. Remember, about 600 men of NDRF, Army, Navy, Police, ITBP, as well as 50 expert divers conducted a search in swirling waters of BS for 44